Hi, it's me again. Um, I'm not really good with, webcam videos and stuff, but I felt like I felt like I had to update on what's been going on with my channel recently. Because there seems to be a bit of confusion in terms of what content I'm uploading, and all of a sudden I'm just back to Raging Blast, even though I said previously I was done with that game. Now, originally I did say I was done with Raging Blast content, and I wanted to move focus onto DVD, which, truth be told, I did do exactly that. That is, that's not a lie. I did what I said I'd do, and I did. I committed. But I was really hoping that it would be enough to get my channel some more traction into a different sector entirely. I wanted to do something different rather than the same thing you've seen me do over and over and over again. Alas, that is quite clearly not the case. However, I'm not just making this video purely because, you know, of issues with my channel. There are just a lot of things that I want to explain as to why you've not seen DVD content in this channel uploaded as frequently as originally. Like before, I was doing a bunch of debt challenges. First one being with Myers, and from there, I basically did live DVD content because the game is really fun. I'm not gonna undersell how fun that game is, and when it shines, it shines. But there obviously is a lot of flaws with making and recording content for a game like DBD. The first one I think you'll find in many competitive games is actually recording content, because going against other players is a very unpredictable and a very chaotic type of situation. It's not like single player games where you know exactly what's going to happen. You can prepare for that. Kind of just get thrusted into a situation, and you just kind of have to give live commentary as it happens. You can't really plan around that. You can't prepare anything. It's just you just have to roll with the punches, and that's pretty much what I did for the longest time. But today I'm just going to address some issues on the current state of DPD and why I've been slowly moving away from recording and making content on Dead by Daylight. Now, the first issue I have with Dead by Daylight is how incredibly un-beginner friendly it is. It is probably one of the least beginner friendly games I've ever played in my entire life. I wish I was joking when I said that, but no, but genuinely, I've never played a game that has encouraged me to not grind at all. Now, if you're wondering when I started playing DBD, it was in October when the Naughty Bear cosmetic dropped for the Trapper Killer. It was pretty much that DLC that set my mind on wanting to play DBD and wanting to give it a shot, because Dead by Daylight was always on my game radar. Like, it was always like I wanted to try, but I never had that push to get into it. And so when Naughty Bear dropped, and Naughty Bear is one of my childhood games, one again that I really enjoy playing, that is by behavior, which is ironic. So when the game dropped, not the cosmetic dropped, sorry. I bought the game, I got the cosmetic, and I gave Trapper a go. Now, Trapper is one of the worst killers in the game, or the worst aging killers in the game. He's not very good, but I had fun because, it was Naughty Bear. It was just fun. But the longer I played this game, the more and more I really wanted to do something different. And the other killers just never stuck out to me in that same way. And so I just kept playing Naughty Bear, I just kept playing Trapper. And eventually, because it was during the Halloween event, I managed to prestige him. I took that as a sign as, okay, I'm getting to the point where I can keep going, keep upgrading and stuff. But now I need to find something else to do. And as you play for the game, you earn something called iridescent shards. I think I'm saying that right, which is the free currency that the game gives you for leveling up. They don't give you a lot. They usually give you a ranging 200 to 350 shards per level up, and leveling up is quite slow. But if you go onto the store, you'll see that some killers are cheap, such as the Doctor, which is like 4,500. It takes like a couple of days of grinding, I'd say, to get the Doctor, because I got him with the free currency. But then you have other killers and survivors at like 9,000 shards, which are comparable to most cosmetics in the game. Some cosmetics are even more expensive. I've seen some that are like 14 to 15,000 iridescent shards. when they have no right being that expensive, or just a visionary difference. And it just really puts me off of wanting to grind the game when leveling up isn't rewarding in the slightest. It's it's comparable to the gacha game like Dragon Ball Legends, where you would do these challenges and you'd get a minuscule like 30 chrono crystals or 100 chrono crystals to use to summon for more characters. This kind of logic kind of applies here as well in my instance, where progressing doesn't feel like progressing and it feels like a chore. There's no fun. There's no rewarding serotonin boost from when you're like, yes, I finally did it. Like, yes, I finally got it. I'm not saying that element doesn't exist, but in the time I've played, it's it's been very few and in between. I've not been able to get those kind of moments consistently. But there's also the fact that when picking a killer, they either feel too powerful, such as Skull Merchant. I think Skull Merchant is the biggest example I can give at the minute. Skull Merchant is just too powerful. Not a lot of people know how to deal with Skull Merchant. No, not many people like dealing with Skull Merchant. I've had an entire team give up against my Skull Merchant before because they just do not want to deal with her. I've had teams just outright stomp my Dredge. Dredge is one of my favorite killers to play. I've had teams stomp my Myers. Again, Dredge and Myers are two of the weakest killers, in my opinion, and in my time using them, compared to other killers like, again, Skull Merchant, the Nurse, Light, like big top tier killers. And then you have the killers that are too weak, which is just not fun. There's just nothing fun about getting curb stomped because you're powerless to do anything about it. Because survivors have exhaustion perks, like Life or Sprint Burst, Dead Hard, just to name a few. There is no fun involved in knowing when you're clearly outmatched and there's not much you can do about it because the other survivors are working on gens, or one survivor who has like all the top tier perks is just keep you on a loop for about 40 minutes. And I've done it before. I know exactly how it feels to, you know, do that to loop a killer. But in times it's led to toxic encounters and stuff, which again, it stops being fun at that point. But I also want to touch upon survivors actually, now that I'm on that point. I don't buy survivors for survivors. If anything, I get a survivor just to get their perks. I don't. I have no interest in their lore. I don't have any interest in their design, and I don't have any interest in the name. Half the time, you just see me make up names for survivors I like, such as Alan Wake being Alan Woke, or Sable Abel for Sable. There's obviously these two are new survivors, so obviously they're going to be fresh in memory. But Dwight obviously is one of my favorite survivors, just because solo. David King is a stereotypical British man, so obviously I remember him. But just some of the DLC survivors, there's just nothing compelling about them. Vittoria has some cool perks, but I just don't give a shit. I don't care about Vittoria. The only reason I even remember his name is because my friend Jenkins plays him. So if you asked me to name all the survivors, I couldn't. I could name a handful, but I cannot for the life of you tell me the names of all the survivors in the game off by heart. And the only reason I'd even buy these said survivors is for their perks to prestige them and give two survivors I actually like playing as, like BL Left 4 Dead 2, just to name an example. So yeah, that's just my quick little synopsis on how the game's anti-beginner friendly, and there's just some uninteresting elements to it. But I'm going to take this little segment to talk about skill-based matchmaking and MMR, which, if I'm not mistaken, skill-based matchmaking is SBMM, and MMR is multiplayer match rank. As I mentioned earlier, killers either feel too weak or too powerful. However, there are instances where powerful killers, like when I'm a killer main, so I don't play as Skull Merchant, but I will still get absolutely pummeled. Because the last game, I got a decent game with, I don't know, Hillbilly. I got a 4K against players who had no idea I was coming because I was running undetectable. And I got a 4K. And they weren't good players because they weren't doing loops, they weren't going to pallets, they were kind of just hoping for the best. They were just going around in circles around rocks and stuff. Like, it was very clear these were not survivors of my skill. Like, these guys were just, it felt like I was playing people who it's just installed the game. That's how it felt. And then the next game, I'm like, okay, I'll play a Skull Merchant because I have a challenge with her. to latch on the drone things, the survivors. So I'll get into a match, and then I will notice the skill gap pretty much instantly. I'll find a survivor. They'll immediately run to a powerful loop, a safe loop as they call it, and I'll pack a pallet, and then they'll sprint burst or use life, and then they'll lose them, and then a general path, and it's really, really, really frustrating to go against consistent high tier players just because of one either lucky match or just one match where I was met against players who just installed the game or had no idea how to counter a killer. Now again, Dredge is a rare killer, to name an example. I went against a duo who were trying to use head on. They had no idea that Dredge can just teleport into the locker and grab survivor. To give you my personal example of what I mean by skill gap, I just find it really frustrating that just because I have one good match, that means I'm apparently worthy enough to go against tournament winners who will just absolutely plow through gens, who will absolutely keep me on loop for like 40 minutes, who will instantly open the exit gates. The inconsistency is what frustrates me the most. I don't appreciate having to go through different groups of players. Like it's players are either too good for my caliber. They'll have like what 3 to 10,000 hours in the game, and they'll have like top tier perks and stuff. And I need to remind you, I don't even have 1,000 hours in this game. I have 350, and I'm being put against players who have thousands of hours in this game, who have played this game for years, just because I won one decent match. And part of the reason why I saw DBD being so fun is because the survivor aspect. You'd have like no, when I started out, it was weird because I never had this issue. When I first started in my first 100 hours of the game, I would have 4 survivors. I'd have the one pro survivor, the one survivor who's really, really good, which was really fun to go against. I'd have the average survivor, the one who's not the best, but he's still like, he's not gonna instantly go down. You have the stealthy survivor, the one that hides all the time, the one that like does all the quiet plays and stuff. And then you have, the low end, like the survivor who's either brand new or just has no idea what to do or what they're doing. They don't know how to loop and stuff. In the first 100 hours of this game, it was the most fun ever because the survivors I got were always just completely random, sporadic. It was just the most fun chaos ever. And it was really interesting because these were teams that, it was a different skill caliber. There was all sorts of people in there. It was really fun. It was fun for both sectors because it's like, okay, the pro player could save the lesser player because he has the experience to. He has the backbone to carry his team. Or on the survivor perspective, the killer isn't the best at going through loops. Meanwhile, you are, but your teammates aren't. You see what I mean? Having players of different calibers is what makes the multiplayer game more fun. Having everyone be good at the game, where's the fun in that? It doesn't feel like I'm playing a game. It feels like I'm playing in a tournament. That stress of being like, okay, these guys are sweaty. These guys will absolutely destroy me. The stress of that, I've been like, okay, I need to win now. I need to do this now. It takes away from the fun and chaotic element of DBD as a whole. It does not do any favors as to how fun the game is. It just makes it feel like it's competitive when, as far as I know, it doesn't feel like a ranked game. It doesn't feel like it never really felt like a esports type environment. It never felt like a big competitive tournament that I had to win. I had to do it for the first 100 hours. But now, the next 200 hours or so, I've been feeling like I have an announcer. I'm just commentating over everything I do when I go against these type of players. That's how fucking sweaty and how try-hardish these types of players have been. And again, all because one game. Consistently one game. One good game, and then I get thrown back into there. I'll lose a couple times, I get put back into the sector, like the middle sector, but then I'll have one good game, right back in there. Right back in the high tier sector with all the top tier players that know exactly how to loop, have 30,000 hours in the game, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You get the point. I'm probably hammering it in by now, but yeah. And this has led to me just avoiding fun builds altogether. I'd be playing Myers, and because the survivors know exactly how to counter Myers, how long his lunge is, how long it lasts for, and you know how to counter stalking and stuff. It's just I get cuts. There's nothing I can do. I can't get downs quick enough, and I can't like I'm not up to their caliber. It's just there's nothing I can do. So after the game, I get frustrated. I'm just like, you know, what, fine then. I'll just use a high tier killer because I need blood points, and I need to get the perks from this specific killer. I'm forced to play a high tier killer to keep up with this environment because there's just no room for fun apparently because my MMR's too high. The game thinks I'm a professional player because I have a few good games on my belt, and if I don't get curb stomped, I get put through what is known as a bully squad. Basically, a bully squad will refuse to will get gens down to 1, or they'll get the exit gate at 99%, and they'll proceed to waste their time holding you hostage in the game. You spam flashlights to do flashlight saves, to pallet stun, to head on stun. Basically, just to stun and blind you over and over and over and over and over again. And the aim of this is to frustrate you, obviously. And so you end up leaving. You leave too many times, you get a penalty on your matchmaking. You get punished for getting frustrated and not wanting to play anymore. Now, I understand why that measure's in place. It's because, you know, rage quitters and stuff, and that is a very frustrating experience. But in that type of environment, why should I get punished for not having fun? For clearly being outmatched, for clearly not having the skill caliber to keep up with these players? The answer is simple. I don't have to. I could just F4. I can just quit the game, play something else. That's what I've been doing quite a lot of recently. I've just left the game, closed the game down, went to do something else, went to go play something else because I just wasn't having fun. The number one rule in any type of gaming environment is that if you're not having fun, don't force yourself to keep playing because then you don't you're not enjoying the game to the fullest it is capable of when you're playing it, but you don't want to play it, or you're getting angry with it. This is a lesson I'm still learning, a lesson I hope you will learn as well in due time. But I also want to touch up on the thing I said about bully squads earlier. I just think this is one of the most toxic gaming communities I've ever been in. No, I don't mean to say this as like everyone is toxic. I've met a good few really, really humble and down to earth people. Mute Newts was one of them. Rage Toilet was a stream I really enjoyed watching. He seemed like a decent bloke. A lot of the Twitch streamers I'd go against as killer were really, really humble most of the time. I've never encountered a toxic Twitch streamer as far as I've played. They've all been really, really nice to me. I've met friendly players who would just approach me and try to befriend me, which I have obviously befriended them and we're just messing around. So I'm not saying the entire community is bad, but it is let me put it like this. This community is one big apple tree. Now, obviously, there are fresh apples, ripe apples, and apples that look delicious. Not in that sense, but a lot of that apple tree is rotten. Not all of it, but a lot of those apples are rotten. But I guess the best example I can give is in endgame, like after you've either won the game or survivors have escaped to end the game, you'd have endgame chat. And in the bottom right, this didn't happen constantly, but a lot of the time I would get insults thrown my way for playing a certain way, playing a certain build, or just getting thrashed, like just trash talk. Now, I'm not saying trash talk is a bad thing, but when it gets to a point where you just start hurling insults at me for literally no reason, like I say GG most of the time after my matches, so it's mostly just an issue with unwarranted trash talk where like there's just no reason for it. You're just doing it because you're an asshole, basically. And the influence that this toxic behavior has on me is evident. because in game, I'd have survivors teabag me in a pallet, teabag during chase, spam blinds with flashbangs, head on spam, pallet stun, that sort of thing. Just overall, just be a nuisance. And because of this toxic behavior would influence me, and I'd get annoyed. Therefore, I take my frustration out by being toxic towards them. I don't encourage that. I don't endorse that. I don't insult them. All I do is ensure they're the ones who get punished by proxy camping and stuff. I'm not going to shy away. I'm not going to pretend I ain't done those things. I have been toxic myself due to the influence of toxic players. That's how bad this problem is. Now, granted, I am never toxic unless someone is toxic to me. I firmly believe in the treat others how you want to be treated type of thing. So if you treat me poorly, then that grants me rights to treat you poorly as well if I decide to. But again, that's just my logic. I'm not right. I don't want to act like I'm right, but that's just what I believe in as of right now. But I do want to touch on a more recent event that you might have seen, which was this. My Myers video. My Myers cosplay video specifically. Now if you watched the video to the end, which I'll be honest, you probably haven't. I got met with a lot of trash talk and insults in the endgame chat. You're actually bad, bro, using scratch mirrors, bro. You're begging it at. I'm Michael Myers. I stalk people. I'm slower than you? What do you want me to do? You want me to just not walk? Now again, this is a video game. Don't need to take it personal. Go into the next game, have a better one. Unless we play in the same game again, in which case you'll probably get angry at me again, but again, for all intents and purposes, that was a good game. But I was more excited to them seeing my cosplay, because that's what I was excited about. The Michael Myers cosplay. And streaming with said cosplay. So for them they started out with one person coming in, talking shit, trash talking, insulting me. Get a better mask. The mask is fine. What do you mean, bro? Don't be mean to the mask. The mask hasn't done anything wrong. Listen, right. I know. It's very annoying to lose to the killer. I get it. Playing Survivor is it's fun. But when you get killed by the killer, it's shit. Right, but listen. There's no need to take it out on... There's no need to take it out on the killers themselves, right? It's only game. And then the rest of them came in. It was likely a group of people. There was like 4 people in my Twitch chat insulting me, insulting cosplay, insulting how I sound, how I play, begging to 1v1, calling me trash. In most cases, sexually harassing me, which, again, these could be jokes, but it's just, I don't appreciate the going from being assaulted to harassed like that. But the point I'm trying to make is that for a community to go as far as to have these people who will go out of their way to insult who you are, how you are, what you're doing, even if it's something as like a cosplay, it's just, the stress of it was just not fun to deal with at all. And this even applied when I wasn't wearing a Myers cosplay. I had someone in my chat notice that I was wearing a mask, and I took the mask off, and the person I played against in that match said, "You should have kept the mask on." In a bit, man. Hope you get more than one viewer. Maybe put the mask back on. That's just mean, bro. That's just mean-spirited for the sake of being mean-spirited. Welcome to DVD, yeah. I had a feeling. Which, again, unwarranted insult, and I even said that, and their reply was, "Tough luck, welcome to DVD." And then there was like false accusations of tunneling and just being toxic when I have video evidence that never happened. Like I have the footage. Apparently I tunneled them, but I did not tunnel. And I even addressed them when they came to my chat. They said, "Thanks for tunneling." And I was confused. I was like, I said to them, I don't recall tunneling you, but if I did, I do apologize. That wasn't intentional, because I never intentionally tunnel someone unless they've been toxic to me. That's how I play the game. blind me. I got my ears for whatever they're worth. Oh shit. No, I don't. Hello! I see you too. There's no guard palette. Gotcha, bitch. Alright, this should be enough. Oh. Oh wait, we can Mori this one. No, let's save it for the A though. I think Bogey Boy or Boogie Boy can step out for a bit. Thanks for tunneling me out the game, bro. I didn't tunnel you, did I? I don't think I did anyway. I'll have to go back in the stream and check if I did tunnel, because if I did, I genuinely did. I do apologise. I actually don't anymore to do that. Oh, there you go, yeah. GG's! GG, well played. You're a tunneling... What? I have footage. I don't think I did. I don't understand. I don't understand what they mean. Like, how did I prox camp a tunnel? I literally went over to another side of the hook. I came back. And then you hooked him? Like, what? You tunneled me and then the near. Prox camped me and Ada till we were deaf hook. I don't think I did. I don't understand what you mean by proxy camping. I went away from the hook. And then I came back to see if anyone was going to save, because I have an aura reading perk. And I did. I don't understand what you want to say. People view tunneling as a viable competitive strategy, but I don't care. I know what tunneling is like. It sucks, and I don't want to put people through it. So to have someone just plant lies like that, trying to make me out like I'm like in the wrong for that, for something I didn't even do, as far as I'm concerned. Just that kind of level of gaslighting just really just put me off of wanting to interact with the community. I'll be honest. Then there's also like the small things like the survivors who will hold the game hostage when I've clearly lost interest in playing any further. Survivors who teabag at the exit gate, like on the very cusp of the exit gate prompt, just to get it, rub it in your face that they won. Like I get it, gloating's cool, but it's just not fun to deal with. I don't do it to killers. Normally I'll be in the exit gate, just healing a teammate up or waiting to see if I can save someone else. But if I can't, I'll obviously leave. But it's just I don't enjoy it when survivors do that. It just comes across as unnecessarily petty to me. And there's tunneling as well as when I play Survivor. I hate playing Survivor, if that's not obvious, because it's just not enjoyable. Either teammates are not competent, or I do really badly and affect the team in a bad way, or the killer is just toxic. I once had a plague who downed me, and I was the last survivor alive, and spent the entire time of me on the floor when I was slugged, just performing, the vomit attack over and over and over again. I had a ghost face who spent the majority of the match just teabagging me continuously while I was slugged on the floor. I had a huntress who downed me while I tried to stay with my teammate and made me bleed out for the better remainder of 3 minutes. And then when they tried to let me go, they immediately picked me up and hooked me. And that's another reason why I hate facing huntresses. My experience with huntresses, almost all of them have been toxic. Every single one. I've never met a good huntress player who hasn't shown any level of toxicity, who has never slugged or tunneled. I've never met any of them. And if I have, they're probably on some of the rarest. They're probably rarer than winning a lottery at that rank. Then there's also the body squads I mentioned earlier, but I'm not going to touch upon that since I explained how they work and stuff, but they're just also equally annoying to deal with. And also troll teammates who work with the killer. That's also another issue that I don't like. That's more rare though. That's less common, but those types of players are really frustrating to deal with as well. And lastly, this is like the last point I'm going to touch on, and this is in more regards to my channel and less of the game. It's just the videos don't do well. There is the odd video that will get like 1,000 views or probably over 500 or over 100, but that is incredibly rare. I don't think I've had more than one video breach 1K. Actually, no, I've had two. I've had a total of two, but I don't think I've had any more than two videos breach 1,000 views or breach anywhere near 1,000 views. And the majority of the time, the videos I actually enjoy making, such as the Spirit video, the Looping Myers video, that was a fun video to do, but I'll work on the thumbnail, the editing, I'll go out my way to try and improve my content, and it just isn't watched. No one cares. And the last video I did for DVD, which was the Myers cosplay, that outfit cost me over £40 to set up, and I'm not really earning anything big right now. That was a big chunk of my earnings just gone for something that no one cared about and marked pretty much. The Adept videos, my first one was obviously Myers, because again, Michael Myers. The Adept videos did well initially, but slowly but surely they just stagnated and no one gave a shit about them. And I uploaded obviously the Rage of Blast April Fool's video, which was Facts and Futures, a meme on this channel pretty much at this point. And it outperformed my Myers video in a few hours. It wasn't a day, it wasn't a week, hours. And then I uploaded another Raging Blast video, outperformed in within hours. And then I uploaded the second one, outperformed within hours. You understand what I'm saying, right? It's very evident that you guys are just not interested in DVD content at all. And I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to force you to enjoy my DVD content. I'm not going to pretend like it's good content, because I'll be honest, the like to dislike ratio is it's something. That's all I can say. To see my more recent videos hit more than 10 likes in comparison to the last 20 DVD videos that don't even breach 5 likes, I can't underestimate how demoralizing it is to have all that effort, about months of your life, working on content that no one even cared about in the first place. I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing DVD content anymore. Not on YouTube, at least. I'm not totally abandoning DVD, because I don't want to. I don't want to do that, at least not yet. But I will be taking breaks from it more frequently. I am going to abandon DVD on this channel, though. This channel will no longer have DVD content. I will keep the videos up on the playlist at the end of every video if you are still interested in DVD, if you want to go revisit the old videos. That is fine by me. But as in terms of uploading new DVD content, I don't think I'll be uploading it here. If I do decide to upload DVD content, it will be on my other channel, which I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to go visit that. But it will mostly just be clips and VOD highlights and stuff like that from my streams, which I think I'll be moving my DVD content to for the foreseeable future. I just think DVD works better as a game you stream and not as a game you record videos on, at least in terms of my style and my way of commentary and recording things and stuff. This is the TLDR. If you don't want to watch the entire video, I respect it if you're here. But so this is just the gist of why I'm not doing DVD content on this channel anymore. It's anti-beginner friendly. Pay to play is unfun. Iridescent shards take fucking forever to grind up, and it's too expensive for a minuscule reward. Feels like pay to play. Killers feel either too powerful or too weak, which is not fun for either side. Survivors are completely uninteresting to me, and 90% of the time I just buy them for their perks. Skill-based matchmaking and MMR is really, really bad in this game. I either pummel the enemy team or the enemy team pummels me. There is never an in-between. There's no diversity in the players I'm up against. I have 350 hours in this game, and I'm being put up against players with 3,000 hours to even 10,000 hours I've been against before. Prestige 100 players, Prestige 100 killers, that sort of thing. Just because I had one good game. Because of these games, I'm forced to use high-tier killers or high-tier builds on killers. Why is that build weird? And the reason for that is because the fun ones I try and use to spice things up a bit or to change how the game works or just to have fun. Uh, Volley squads will either harass that build or the build will just get curb stomped by experienced players who know how to counter it. The DVD's toxic community, again, not everyone. There are nice people such as Meat Newts and Rage Toilet. The end game is more than often just a pain to deal with because there's just unnecessarily toxic trash talk and really rude and mean comments. I have evidence of this through my Myers cosplay getting harassed just because I ran a Scratch Mirror Myers build. They came over to my Twitch stream with three of their friends, started insulting me, my cosplay, my voice, everything about me, demanding I 1v1 them, just overall very unpleasant. Then there's also the matter of toxic survivors just teabagging the exit, which is just unwarrantarily just shoving their win in your face. There's also tunneling, which is also a really annoying thing to deal with. And there's slugging just to taunt and harass you by plague players, vomiting on you, huntress players throwing hatchets at you, uh, Ghostface and pig players teabagging. There's bully squads as well. It's just not fun to deal with. It's a very toxic community, I think. And finally, DVD's not on this channel because there's just no viewership when it comes to this channel. The Myers cosplay, that video that I did, was over £40 to set up, and it flopped. The debt videos I recorded initially were well received at first, but then they slowly declined. The rest of the videos were just flops as well. And the Raging Blast videos I've been uploading recently have just overall gotten more interaction, more traction, there's more likes, there's more views. It's very clear you guys want to see Raging Blast videos more than the months I've spent on DVD content. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope I helped clear the air a bit and why DVD's been quite absent from this channel. I'll be moving DVD to my Twitch account, which if you want to check out, that's also in the description as well. Any highlights or special moments that I do want to make videos of, I'll probably shove them onto the other channel. But otherwise, this is it for DVD on this channel. It's been fun making content for DVD on this channel, but it's very clear that it's not something that this channel that you guys want. And it's very clear that it's not something that will do well for my channel. So I guess this is it. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for hearing out the context, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.